Hello aspirants. So I welcome you to the World History Trend Analysis session. So till now we have done trend analysis of many of the topics. So for example, myself have done uh, modern history, post-independence India, and uh, world history. This current session. Apart from that, trend analysis of the polity and the society have been taken by the other faculty. So please refer that. In fact, my videos, trend analysis sessions will be one of the cues to the questions that we'll be discussing in the prelim master program as mains master program as well. Pardon me. Right. So let us start. So what is mentioned in our syllabus? History, world history is a very big topic, and the syllabus itself contains a lot of different things. For example, history of the world will include the events from 18th century, such as industrial revolution, world wars, redrawal of the national boundaries, colonization, decolonization, political philosophies like communism, capitalism, socialism, and their forms and effect on the society. Now, very broadly defined syllabus, and the topics, if you have seen the questions have been very non-traditional. So for example, in 2013 there have been 40 marks. So we cannot consider 2013 as one of the parameters. Why? Because it was the first time UPSC was designing the paper, and you can see post independence also been asked the 50 marks. So 90, a lot of history questions have been asked. After that, some rationalization has been done. Now if you see the recent trends, only one question been asked for the past 4 years. Okay, and the questions have also not been very gentle. The questions have been very non-traditional. So again, it begs the question: what is the cost to benefit analysis? And especially in our GS1. Why? As I told you in the post-independence also, because GS1 is very crowded space. We have geography, which consists of at least 6 to 7 to 8 questions. Then society we have, then culture, modern history, post-independence, and then world history. So again, world history has a very long syllabus as compared to the post-independence history. So again, what we need to focus here, right? So first we restructure the syllabus a bit. For example, the topics we have the topic of the industrial revolution. So industrial revolution we have, then revolutions such as I've included here: French Revolution, American Revolution, okay, Russian Revolution, then World War in the related events. So World War, in between the Great Depression was there, right? Then the New Deal also came, right? So those are the related events. What were the steps being taken in the Europe? What are the steps being taken? How the World War in between interwar years was instrumental to the ideologies such as fascism, Treaty of Versailles, and all these. So these are the key topics here. Then the topic of the decolonization, process of decolonization. Now that process itself, question, if you see the questions on the very tricky questions have been asked on this process. Now Cold War, one question has been asked. Then political ideologies. Interestingly, they have mentioned political ideologies, but no question is being asked on politicology as of now. Now, one of the reasons can be that because it is a very core syllabus of the students from the background of the PSIR, Political Science International Relation, and students from the public administration if they cover it, and in the philosophy also. So we know these, we must know these political ideologies, but I believe that gives them a relatively more unfair advantage to the students of those optional. So, but still no question has been asked, so we cannot rule it out. However, for the current purposes, trend analysis purposes, we are ignoring this topic. Why? Because there has been no question being asked on it, and still, if we talk about low hanging fruits, I don't consider it as one. Then country specific story. This is something which I'll focus in the end, which we need, which is something which one of the trends we can find out, or one of the things we can, how world history we can prepare in a very strategic way. So let us start. So 2019, the question has been very easy question. In fact, 2019, going away from its trend. So question explain how the foundation of the modern world were laid down by the American and the French Revolution. Then in 2018, we have a very unconventional question related to the diaspora, as well as some questions related to the world history. So why endangered laborers were taken from the British from the Indias to the other colony? Okay, so why from India to the other colonies they were taken? Now one can say that, okay sir, this can be the question of the modern history as well, but it's related to the cultural identity as well. So very amorphous question, but a good question. But again, as I told you earlier, a non-traditional question. Okay, then 2017, a tough question was there. What are the problems were germane to the decolonization process of the Malay Peninsula? So how in the Southeast Asia problems were there in the problem of the decolonization. Not decolonization, we traditionally we read about Africa, we read something about Asia, China, we read, but asking about a specific place, then it becomes a tough question. Now, how to deal with these questions? Now, you can obviously majority of the students very had a very little idea if they are not from the history optional background. So what you can do, whatever story you know from the Malay Peninsula area, you can write it. And if you're not getting anything, it is better to invest your energy in the other questions rather than writing something and wasting a lot of time thinking over this topic. It would be better if you invest more time in writing more qualitative answers in the remaining 19 questions, because it is only 10 marker question, right? Even if someone writes a very good answer, he'll get 4 marks. But if you improve quality in some of your other answers, you'll get half more marks in there, right? So use your time also very strategically. Sometimes we have a myth that we have to attempt 20 all the 20 questions. Yes, we have to attempt all the questions, but if you have no idea about a question, whatever you will write, it makes very little sense, isn't it? In fact, that leaves a very poor impression on the examiner as well. Okay, that this guy is trying to write everything, he has written good answers before, but he is trying to write anything which does not make any sense. He does not know that answer but still trying to fool me up. Examiner feels that the student is trying to fool me up to get some mark. If you are writing something that makes sense, 2 to 3 lines, that's fine. But if you are writing something that does not make sense, then it does not go well with the later on the questions, right? So you can focus on those things. Then we have a question, again a relatively tricky question. So anti-colony struggles in the West Africa were laid down by the new elite of the Western educated Africans. Okay, so it is very difficult to recall the name of the people of the Western African countries. Western African means this portion. So if you know some of the leaders from that time, right, then you can at least get half more marks than the other aspirant. Ideas are the same. What these new elite of the Western educated Africans brought. So the same ideas those were brought in India by the likes of Nehru and other educated people who have come from outside. The ideas are the same, but you need to know very specific example. And that also gives you a window that you should know at least few of the African leaders. For example, next time the question being asked on the decolonization of Africa. Not taking cue from this question may not be asked again. But okay, this question has been asked, Western educated African in the West Asia. So you read about few countries, for example, Kenya, sorry, not Kenya, you read about Ghana country, you read about a few African nationals who are Western educated and who have contributed to those, and you have a case study in your hand. Getting my point? Now you can use this case study at multiple locations. For example, question on the decolonization come, you can talk about this, right? Question on leadership in the ethics come, you can talk about this. So you can use one example, multiple locations, okay? And this is worth an effort, especially if we have the previous year UPSC questions to guide us through. Then we have 2015, we have questions on the world wars. To what extent Germany is held responsible for causing the 2 world war? So you see Germany, both the sides falling on the wrong side of the, they are not the victors both the times. So how far the Germany is held responsible? Now you have to showcase in the one part that okay, Germany is responsible, but however you also have to tell them okay, what are the other factors also contributed to these things. Then why did industrial revolution, so question on the industrial revolution, why it came first in England and then quality of life affected during the industrialization. Now you can see the hint of the ideology of the socialism there, okay? You can talk about that ideology of socialism, start gaining forefronts in that, here start a philosophy of the socialism started gaining foothold in the Europe because of the ill effects of the this industrial revolution itself. However, again, as I told you that no question has been on the ideology also of yet. So if you're not from this background, you should know these ideologies, some very basic thing. Okay, what's the difference between capitalism, communism and socialism? Very basic idea you must have, that's all. But what's the difference between these 3 ideologies which is written in your syllabus, and that is enough. Then we have question with respect to Suez crisis. Again, when the question has come, it was a relatively bit of surprise because it is not something we read in a very conventional sense. Then new economic policy 1921 of Lenin has influenced the policy adopted by India soon after independence. So they are talking about the planning in India. So you can see the interlinkage of the topic with the topic that is in your syllabus, that is planning in GS3. Okay, right. Next, in 2013, we have 40 marks from world history. So the question you can see on the Great Economic Depression, then question on the American Revolution as a economic revolt against the mercantilism. Then we have question on the colonialism of the Africa. Then we have Industrial Revolution as the latecomer in the Industrial Revolution. The Japan involved certain factors which were markedly different from the West had experienced. Okay, so they have asked about the Industrial Revolution in Japan. So we need to know a relatively story of the countries like Japan, China, and these things. So that brings me to the low hanging fruit part of the discussion. Okay. Now, as you have seen the session on the post-independence history as well, and in the modern history, I told you that there are few areas which you can focus. Now, again, with a disclaimer that if you have the capability and the time it's at your hand, if you feel that you can read from the conventional sources and you can create notes, then go ahead, right? Nobody is stopping you. However, due to paucity of the time, we have to focus on the few of the areas which has the higher probability of coming, or which can have higher relevance for not only this but also some other areas. For example, I have given you the example of the, remember one case study of the person from the Ghana who has been the leader, who has done the works for the uh, process of the decolonization, right? So first thing, prepare summary notes. Okay, prepare summary notes and have a basic idea of at least the topics mentioned in your syllabus. So basic idea of industrial revolution, basic idea of this revolution, for example, American Revolution, what was the context, what are the causes, what timeline, impact, local and global. Okay, 2019 question you can see. What is the difference between American and the French Revolution and the Russian Revolution. So if you know the basics of it, you are able to get it. So very short, crisp notes. Okay, what were the causes? Social causes, economic causes, political causes. Very basic. You don't have to read a lot of things to understand this. Very basic things are there. Then you can prepare the content country or the continent wise. For example, story of Africa. For example, story of the Japan. Story of Japan. Story of China. Especially from 1911 to present day China. Okay, the time of the Mao is also very important, especially with the China, India-China conflict. So there may not be question directly on the India-China in our international relation, but there can be question on the Chinese policies before Deng Xiaoping and after Deng Xiaoping, something like that, right? So in the time of the Mao, cultural policy of the Mao, right? So many of the policies of the Mao, Great Leap Forward or something like that, right? So how Mao was able to, the questions on Mao, how Mao is different from Marx, those things will not come in our syllabus, in our GS world history syllabus. But the policies of the Mao, what impact it had on China, right? Those things are important. And the question on the Deng Xiaoping can also come. We always prepare for Mao, but the question of Deng Xiaoping can also come because he was said to be the person who modernized China. The current state of China can be traced from his own efforts. Okay, so story of China you can prepare. You can find it very easily on any of the summary material that you will find. Similarly, as I giving example of Japan, the question of Japan has been asked from industrial revolution to the all the world wars and post world war also. For example, currently Japan is developing its own defense capabilities because now US is receding its security umbrella. So you understand the connection of it. So these things you should know. Okay, then I believe this is the important section of our preparation because no question has been asked on it. The Middle Eastern story. So how the process of the decolonization of the Middle East taken place. Okay, so what are the agreements which were the which led to the problems of the Middle East, right? Why it had the origin in the some greedy agreements that have been signed beforehand. Then the Arab-Israel conflict, right? Iran-Iraq conflict, these oil crises and everything. Then the process of decolonization, why it was having a lot of issues, right? You can see that in that context only Suez crisis you can read, right? So question on the Arab-Palestine conflict itself can be asked. Oh, sorry, Arab-Israel conflict. Okay, so these are the few key areas which you can focus for now. I know world history takes a lot of time to read. Now, if you think that after your after your prelims examination, you're going to find time for world history, again, that is highly improbable. Why? You may be able to do few of these things, but not all of them. So just do one thing. You start, for example, you prepare Suez crisis. even if a question has been asked, you can use that example in a case study. For example, if the question comes on means Middle Eastern crisis or something like that, you can give a reference to the Suez crisis. Okay, so these questions, they will not repeat in themselves, but they provide you a cue. Okay, what can be asked ahead of it. Okay, so I know it is one of the trickiest topics to deal with world history as compared to topics such as polity, which has a lot of scope, a lot of questions being asked on polity. But as we have seen that world history has a very uh, poor cost to benefit ratio. If you're starting your preparation and watching this video, go ahead and read the world history from NCERT or from the other conventional sources. But if you are at this stage, you are waiting for prelims to come and you are still thinking to cover some main syllabus, I'll prefer you go for these small topics, and that would be enough. That would have higher probability of coming into the exam. Okay then, so with this, we finished this particular session of world history. So we are done with history, all the three parts of history, modern history, post-independence, and the world history has been done. So very soon we will come up with the analysis, trend analysis of the other topics, such as I will take care of the international relations as well, internal security, international relations, science and tech. So these are the three more topics I'll take care. So other faculties will take care of the other topics, such as polity has already been taken care of. So see you in the next class, everyone. Thank you, everyone. And if you want some answer writing sessions, please see our Telegram channel. On that, we have made the details of the Mains Master Program public. So you can join our program, and we will be more than happy to help you out. Okay, then. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.